I wasn't going to be able to leave the legacy that I wanted by just selling homes. Hey there, welcome back to my Epique Journey. This is Brandon DeVere. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate any connections that we have made together. You guys can follow me on, at Brandon DeVere on Facebook, Instagram. Connect with me over there, LinkedIn, whatever. But today's episode, I kind of want to talk about something a little deeper than I have in recent episodes. In the first few. This one is kind of one that defines what it is that I want to do and why I originally took the journey at EXP to go do something different with that. Because at the time, it still wasn't proven. I mean, we still had a lot of people saying that it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not sustainable. You can't do it. And now that was when we had about 8,000 agents, and now they're at 90,000 agents. So it seemed to be doing okay for the last 6 years. But this story is kind of the reason why I got into it. One of the things that I really want to leave behind is legacy, and have people understand, who I am and why I want to do these things. So when it comes to legacy, certain things that I think about was I wasn't going to be able to leave the legacy that I wanted by just selling homes. Homes, like it's fun. I mean, one of the last deals that I did, this family, I sold their friends a home 6 years before. They moved. They were best friends in Ohio. They moved. The first couple moved out here, and then the next deal, then they moved out here, and we found a home in the same community that was a 4-minute walk. So it was pretty awesome that they were able to do that. And that was fun. That was like a reuniting. I come from a very small town, 2,000 people up in central Washington. And I have friends that I've known. Some of my friends, we have grandparents that were roommates back in like the 30s. So when you can reconnect that's pretty awesome. And so that's fun for me. But on the flip side of that, I've had clients that would complain all the way through, be upset at the end, and it seemed like there was nothing that you could do that would be enough or have them enjoy. But in both of those scenarios, that stuff kind of wears off too. Like even the people that are super excited about it, I've had people that would call like 6 months later and say something's wrong, like something's wrong with this house, and it wasn't picked up on the inspection because likely it happened after the house was purchased. We're talking 6 months later. But those type of things, like me selling more homes, like I really realized that no one knew how many homes I sold. My kids didn't, my wife didn't, like they didn't care. They don't care about any of that. So that's where my legacy. When I wrote the book, The Semi-Retired Real Estate Agent, that was, I get people be like, oh, would you just golf and fish all day and take naps? And I'm like, no, it wasn't about that. The semi-retired real estate agent was about not having to go. Like I made a commitment that my daughter played competitive soccer. She played on a club team and had tournaments often. We'd go out of town often. And I made a commitment about 5 years ago, about a little over 5 years ago, that I was no longer going to be I was no longer going to miss a soccer game because I had to go to work. Like I had to go hold an open house or something like that. And so that's what that was about. That was about me setting boundaries more so, and doing it by creating residual income that would allow me to do that, to not have to go sit at an open house on a Saturday. But the legacy aspect of it was that with these new type of models, like at EXP, I still have friends over there, and they think I'm an idiot for leaving, but I still have them thanking me for introducing them to that model because of what it's done for them. And that's because they're getting paid every month, right? So that's legacy. That is long-term. Years down the road, they're still going to be grateful for that, and grateful that I was able to be bold enough to share that with them at a time when it wasn't. One of them was up in Canada, and we weren't even open in their area yet. And he was like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. And then all of a sudden he came back around, and now he's like a huge proponent for them. And, I love him to death. And those are the things, those are the calls and the posts on Facebook that I see, that those are what I get really excited about. Not necessarily another home sale. And because I don't think that I make the impact, that I want to make when I do sell a home to somebody. There is that impact, but it's like short-lived, a quick spike. They're super excited, and then it just kind of slowly fades, or can be like, all right, now we're done there. But the reason that the legacy is so important to me is because when I was 18 years old. So my mom, when I was about 11, got 10 or 11, she got struck by a kid. She was a school teacher, teacher's aide, and she got struck by one of the special education kids, and he broke her jaw and kind of like hit her pretty hard. So that kind of triggered some like dementia and some symptoms like that. She was forgetting things like that. It started off kind of slowly. She forget about some things. She had surgery. This is a funny story. Like, that she had surgery, and one of the things was they had to ask her what day it was so that she could get out. And I remember them telling me that what she did was that they had a newspaper back then. They had a newspaper, and she looked at the date on the newspaper. So when they said, "Oh, what day it is?" or "What day is it?" She told them because she remembered what was on the newspaper. But slowly, she kind of start kind of decaying. She would leave her keys here, leave that there. Then like decision making started going out and all that stuff. Well, fast forward, so my dad ended up having to put her into a home because I went into high school. And so when I got into high school, he kind of had a decision to make. Like, okay, my son's in high school, he's playing sports, and at this point, he was, changing her diapers, bathing her, feeding her, all this stuff. He would take her to school with him. At school, he was a school teacher. She would take him there, or he would take her there, and she would sit there during class while he taught all day long. And then it finally got to a point where, we ended up putting her into a home. He had, a tough decision for him. I mean, they were like junior high sweethearts, and he had to make that decision. And so, like, growing up, I got the phone call. I had just graduated that previous June, and it was October of 1999. And I answered the phone, and it was the doctor, and they asked if my dad was home. And I said, yeah, here he is. And so I gave him the phone, the old like long cord. It's got the dial on it, so I handed that to him. And then I kind of walk around the corner out of the kitchen in the hallway, and I'm just listening, and I hear, okay. And so then he gets off the phone. I go, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, your mom, she doesn't have much time. And so like this was kind of it. And so we went down and visited her at the home, and obviously she didn't know. I mean, by the time I was 15, like when I would go down and visit her, we would walk around the yard there, and it was like she was wanting to say something, but she couldn't. She was just going, and that's all she could say. But it was like she wanted to say something, but just couldn't. But anyway, so we get down there. She doesn't know that we're there. She is maybe 90 pounds. I mean, super just skin and bones. She's now at the point where she can't even say she can't eat. She can't do anything. So as we're sitting there, the next couple of days, she passes away, and then we go to the funeral. So go to the funeral. Obviously we're some of the first people there. So it's me, my dad, and my sister. I have one sibling. It's my older sister, Andy, and we're sitting there. And we start to walk out, and we stand up. We're in the first pew. Turn around, look back, and it's completely packed. Like, we're arm in arm. And then my dad is just being super strong, going through it, like not having any emotion, but he was like you could tell he was feeling it. I was too. I also thought that, hey, I'm 18, like I gotta be a man for this and all that. So we're walking out, and one of my best friends, Eric, his dad, is sitting at the very end. So we walking through the pew. So from the front, we start walking out, and we go to exit to the left. And as we go to exit to the left out of the back of the church, my friend's dad he grabs my hand, like the kind of the hand, like clap, like put his hand, like he shook my hand and then put his hand over mine, like, and he gave me this look like we got you. And I'll never forget it, because then we started walking out and we opened the doors and there's people standing. Well, no, let me back up for a second. There's people standing. So all the pews are full. The people are standing. And keep in mind, this is a town of like 2,000 people. So all like people standing, pews are full. We go outside. There's people in like the entryway kind of sitting there. And we go outside and there's like standing room. People are standing outside. The parking lot is completely full with cars. And we are like, and I'm looking around going, wow. Like so we do that. I have some friends coming, and most of high school I had friends that didn't really know how to respond to me for any of this. Like they didn't know what to say to me. They didn't know how they wanted to help. They didn't know what to do. They just knew to show up and just be there. And so we had some people show up, like a ton of people show up, went to like, the gravesite, did the graveside memorial thing there. And then we went back to have like the after, the ceremony afterwards, the little banquet thing that you do. But after that, it was just me and my dad. My sister had moved at that point because she had graduated and had been out of the house for 4 years now because I just graduated. So she was out of the house. So just me and my dad. And we probably didn't need to go to the grocery store for at least a month. There's people that still to this day bring him cookies every Christmas. But that stuck with me. And like, I think back to that moment and I smile about it. It sounds weird that I would smile about, my mother's funeral. But what I realized during that time, not at that time. I did not realize it at the time. I realize it now. And I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful for her. And there was a community that like she left such a legacy, like that she left such an imprint and a positive impact on these people's lives that they would not let us fail. They were like, I must have had like 4 different moms, after that I would stay the night at a friend's house, maybe even during the school week, like having breakfast, whatever, like you wake up, have your, breakfast at your friend's house and go, like, you didn't really stay the night at people's houses, on school nights, but then, I had all these like mom figures that came out and they all knew that I loved banana bread. So like one mom would make me banana bread and all this other stuff, but we were so taken care of, by these people because of the way that my mom made them feel. And they took it upon themselves, like, oh, I will take care of your children. I can think of 4 moms right now that were like always basically my pseudo mom. And so that's why legacy is important to me. And why selling homes for me, just selling homes wasn't going to provide the legacy that I wanted to live or leave. And so that's another reason why I do this in this way, is that I want people to be super successful, and I want to be one of the people that help them get there. And if I can do it just by an introduction, just by being a connector and connecting people to something that may work for them, maybe it doesn't work for them, and that's perfectly okay as well. But this is why legacy is so important to me, is because I've seen firsthand what legacy has done, and the pride people feel from the way you make them feel. So I'll end with that. Try not to get like too somber or anything like that. It's been, God, that was 99. So this year will be 25 years. In October will be 25 years, which is crazy. It's crazy to think, and anybody who's ever lost someone, that you never stop thinking about them. I think about my mom pretty much every day, and it's been 25 years. Right. So that is, I just want to leave that with you, and why legacy is so important to me as I continue to move on and get people to be put in position. I would love, I doubt anybody's going to, when I'm gone, say, man, he sold me that house in, 2024. Probably not. But if I make them feel or help them with success in this way, then they hopefully will someday go, man, Brandon really helped me out, and he got me to be something more than I would have been. Whatever that is. It doesn't even have to be in real estate. It doesn't have to be selling a home, and whatever it is, as far as, again, back to Learn for Two, like those are the things I like to share with people because I believe that it's valuable information that I learned, that I try to share. Some people might not think so much, but yeah,